I'm so protective of her because I know what she up against.
Don't let this segment mess our marriage up.
The entertainment world has been shaken to its core with whispers, allegations, and a storm of rumors that seem to center around two of its biggest names, Steve Harvey and Diddy Combs. This story has everything: betrayal, secrets, and even the kind of allegations that could topple empires. Let's start at the heart of the matter. Why did Steve Harvey, the beloved host and comedian, allegedly hand over information to the feds that has now placed Diddy in the middle of one of the most sensational legal battles in recent memory? And more importantly, how did things get so messy between these two once friendly power players?
I'm having a bad day right now.
Imagine this. Steve Harvey, the smiling, suit-wearing mogul known for dishing out advice on love and life, sitting on information that could implicate one of the most influential figures in music. But that's the rumor mill buzzing. According to sources close to the situation, Steve Harvey might have known far more about Diddy's private affairs than he let on. Could Harvey have been holding on to this information for years, only to finally hand it over when the walls started closing in around Diddy? And if so, why? Was it an act of conscience, or was there something deeper at play? A personal vendetta, perhaps, or even a fear for his own safety? Let's rewind for a moment to understand how these two icons crossed paths. Steve Harvey and Diddy have been seen together on numerous occasions over the years, sharing laughs and appearing at events as if they were old friends. Their connection seemed genuine, even familial at times, especially when Diddy was romantically linked to Lori Harvey, Steve's stepdaughter. This relationship alone raised eyebrows considering the significant age difference, but Steve, at least publicly, kept his cool. He avoided commenting too much on the matter, though many speculated that he wasn't thrilled about the situation. Still, the bond between Diddy and the Harvey family seemed intact, or so it appeared.
I can't really tell you what's wrong with kids, but I can tell you what the hell wrong with parents.
Fast forward to recent months, and the narrative has taken a sharp turn. Diddy's legal troubles exploded into the public eye, with allegations so serious they've become the stuff of tabloid frenzy. And now, the whispers suggest that Steve Harvey might have played a role in providing key information to the authorities. Apparently, Steve had been aware of certain activities that allegedly took place at Diddy's infamous gatherings, events that have now become central to the ongoing investigation. These were no ordinary parties, according to insiders. They were elaborate affairs attended by some of the biggest names in Hollywood and music. But behind the glitz and glamour, there were darker undertones that have now come to light.
Young man, but you gotta understand, you gotta forgive your fathers, because they human too. They made mistakes.
The question swirling around is, why would Steve Harvey, a man who has built his public image on family values and integrity, get involved in such a high-stakes situation? Some say it was a matter of self-preservation. Rumors suggest that Steve might have felt his own reputation and possibly his safety were at risk if he stayed silent. Others believe he simply couldn't look the other way any longer, especially given the magnitude of the allegations against Diddy. But there's another theory, one that's far more personal and messy. Could the fallout have something to do with Lori Harvey's past connection to Diddy? And if so, did Steve feel betrayed by the music mogul, prompting him to take action?
I could tell you some hard parts for me.
Adding fuel to the fire are claims that Diddy, upon learning of Steve's alleged cooperation with authorities, has been none too pleased. Insiders say the music icon feels blindsided and betrayed, and there are whispers of veiled threats being made against Steve. These threats reportedly go beyond just words, with some sources suggesting that Diddy's inner circle, the people who have stood by him through thick and thin, may be pressuring Steve to backtrack on any statements he may have made. It's a tense and dangerous game, one that could have serious consequences for everyone involved.
Haters, when you get haters, you know, people's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters.
And then there's the role of Diddy's so-called interpreters, individuals who allegedly act as intermediaries between the mogul and others. These figures, whose identities remain shrouded in mystery, are said to be carrying out Diddy's wishes with precision and discretion. According to the rumor mill, these interpreters have been reaching out to Steve Harvey, applying pressure and reminding him of the potential fallout if he continues to cooperate with the investigation. The tactics allegedly range from subtle warnings to outright intimidation, leaving Steve and his family feeling cornered. If true, it's a shocking turn of events for someone as high profile and seemingly untouchable as Harvey.
I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. Steve ain't this, he think he this. You don't even know me.
As this drama unfolds, it's impossible to ignore the irony of it all. Steve Harvey, a man who has built a career on giving advice and solving other people's problems, now finds himself at the center of a web of intrigue and danger. His attempts to negotiate with federal authorities reportedly include assurances that he was merely a witness to certain events and not an active participant. But the feds, it seems, are not letting him off the hook so easily. They're said to be demanding more from Steve, more details, more names, and more evidence. And for a man who has spent decades cultivating an image of trustworthiness and stability, the stakes couldn't be higher. What makes this situation even more complex is the history between Steve Harvey and Diddy. Their friendship, or at least their public camaraderie, stretches back years. They've shared stages, exchanged compliments, and even collaborated on projects. For all intents and purposes, they seemed like two men who respected and admired each other's hustle. But as with so many relationships in the entertainment industry, appearances can be deceiving. Behind the scenes, there may have been tensions simmering for years, tensions that are only now coming to the surface in the wake of Diddy's legal troubles. It's worth noting that Diddy has always been a larger-than-life figure, someone who thrived on being the center of attention. His parties, his business ventures, even his controversies, they all contributed to his mystique as a man who could do it all and get away with it. But now, as the allegations pile up and the legal system closes in, that mystique is starting to crumble. And Steve Harvey, whether by choice or circumstance, has found himself caught in the crossfire.
Steve and I have been drilling this into our daughters for forever.
The fallout from this situation is far from over, and the questions keep piling up. What exactly did Steve Harvey know, and for how long? Did he act out of a sense of duty, or was he trying to save his own skin? And what about Diddy's alleged threats? Are they enough to make Steve regret his decision to cooperate with authorities? The answers to these questions remain elusive, but one thing is certain: this is a story that will continue to dominate headlines for months to come.
Didn't Diddy's son date her?
Yes! That cannot be true.
As we transition into the next part of this unfolding drama, the focus shifts to the people closest to Steve Harvey, his family. How has this scandal affected his relationships, particularly with his stepdaughter Lori Harvey and his wife Marjorie? And what role, if any, have their own pasts played in this tangled web of secrets and suspicions? The answers may surprise you, and they're coming up next. The fallout from the unfolding drama between Steve Harvey and Sean Diddy Combs isn't just confined to the two men at the center of it all. It's spilling over into their inner circles, leaving a trail of strained relationships, resurfaced skeletons, and whispers that refuse to be silenced. And at the heart of it all, Steve Harvey's family, particularly his stepdaughter Lori Harvey and his wife Marjorie. If you thought the first act of this saga was messy, buckle up. Things are about to get even more complicated.
I think it's more interesting that Steve Harvey's there.
Let's start with Lori Harvey, who has found herself unintentionally tangled in this web of chaos. As Steve's stepdaughter and a rising figure in her own right, Lori has always been the subject of public fascination, but her past connection to Diddy has made her a key figure in the rumor mill surrounding this entire situation. For those who may not remember, Lori and Diddy were romantically linked back in 2019. The age difference alone, Lori being in her early 20s at the time and Diddy in his late 40s, was enough to set tongues wagging. But what really made headlines was the fact that Lori had previously been linked to Diddy's son, Justin Combs. The whole situation was clouded in speculation, with many questioning the dynamics of the relationship and how Steve Harvey, as a protective father figure, truly felt about it.
49.
Diddy is 49 years old.
Oh, man!
That is a 27-year difference.
While Steve publicly kept his cool and maintained that he trusted his daughter to make her own decisions, insiders have suggested that the situation created tension behind the scenes. And now, with Diddy's legal troubles making headlines and Steve allegedly cooperating with the authorities, Lori is reportedly feeling the strain. Sources close to the family claim that Lori is upset, not just about being linked to Diddy in the press, but also about the possibility that her father's involvement in the case could bring more scrutiny onto her life. She's said to have distanced herself from Steve in recent months, refusing to engage in conversations about the situation and focusing instead on her career and personal brand.
I would feel like I failed as a father.
I think
if I'm sitting across from the table with a dude the same age as me that's dating my daughter.
It's worth noting that Lori has worked hard to craft an image of independence and sophistication. As a model and entrepreneur, she's carved out a space for herself in the public eye that's separate from her famous family. But the whispers surrounding her past with Diddy have proven difficult to shake, especially now that his name is back in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Some have even speculated that Lori feels betrayed by Steve's decision to cooperate with the authorities, seeing it as a move that could potentially drag her name further into the spotlight. Whether or not that's true, one thing is clear. The relationship between Lori and her stepfather is not what it once was.
Her mother is 54 years old. Her mother is 5 years older than Puffy.
And then there's Marjorie Harvey, Steve's wife and Lori's mother, whose own past has become a topic of renewed interest in light of the current scandal. For those unfamiliar, Marjorie's history is as colorful as it is controversial. Before marrying Steve, she was linked to two men who were involved in serious criminal enterprises. Her first husband, Jim Townsend, was sentenced to life in prison for his involvement in an illegal operation. Marjorie divorced him while he was behind bars, and he later published a tell-all memoir in which he claimed that Marjorie was fully aware of his activities, a claim she has always denied.
Marjorie, the thing that Marjorie's not telling you all.
telling everybody's
Yes,
business? Okay, now don't let me start telling Steve's business.
Marjorie's second husband, Donald Woods, was also allegedly involved in questionable dealings, and their marriage reportedly ended under equally murky circumstances. By the time she married Steve in 2007, Marjorie had left her past behind and embraced a new life as the matriarch of a blended family. But now, with Steve's alleged involvement in Diddy's legal troubles, Marjorie's past has come back into focus. Critics have been quick to point out the irony of her current role as a supportive wife and mother, given her own history of being linked to controversy. And while Marjorie has remained silent on the matter publicly, sources say she's privately fuming over the renewed attention on her past.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So I love my man, but what you mean, but?
What's even more intriguing is the speculation that Marjorie's past connections could somehow be relevant to the current investigation. While there's no evidence to suggest she has any direct involvement in Diddy's case, her history has raised questions about whether she might have knowledge of certain things that could be of interest to the authorities. Some have even gone so far as to suggest that Marjorie could be a potential source of information, though there's no indication that she has cooperated with the investigation in any way. Still, the rumors alone are enough to add another layer of complexity to an already convoluted situation.
What would you say? What's been the key to our success?
The fact that you respect me and I respect you.
Adding to the intrigue, insiders have claimed that Marjorie has been quietly approached by figures close to Diddy's camp, allegedly seeking to gauge whether she might share anything she knows, or worse, whether she might already have done so. These rumors, while unconfirmed, paint a picture of growing paranoia within Diddy's inner circle as the stakes of the investigation climb higher. Some have even speculated that Marjorie's past connections might make her a liability in Diddy's eyes, sparking whispers that she could be pulled deeper into the drama if tensions escalate further. Whether she'll remain on the periphery or be dragged into the spotlight is anyone's guess, but the uncertainty has reportedly caused unease within the Harvey household. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal battles continue to escalate, with new allegations and lawsuits surfacing seemingly every week. The charges against him are as serious as they come, and the sheer number of people coming forward with claims against him is staggering. From former employees to old acquaintances, the list of accusers grows longer by the day, painting a picture of a man whose larger-than-life persona masked a much darker reality. And while Diddy has consistently denied all allegations against him, the weight of the evidence, both legal and anecdotal, has made it increasingly difficult for him to maintain his innocence in the court of public opinion.
It's just incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven guilty. When you have this much...
The investigation into Diddy's activities has also unearthed a trove of evidence that could prove damning. From digital records to eyewitness accounts, the authorities appear to have built a compelling case against the music mogul. And while much of the focus has been on Diddy himself, there's also speculation about who else might be implicated as the investigation unfolds. Could there be other high-profile figures who were aware of or even complicit in his activities? And if so, what does that mean for the entertainment industry as a whole?
I believe that it opens yourself up to some negligence claims. Again, I don't know if Jay-Z is going to go that far, but certainly I think it does open himself up to some negligence claims. Maybe that was part of the reason why he dismissed with prejudice. I don't know.
This brings us back to Steve Harvey and the role he may have played in all of this. According to insiders, Steve's cooperation with the authorities wasn't just a one-time thing. He's said to have provided detailed accounts of certain events and even handed over evidence that could be critical to the case. While it's unclear what exactly Steve knew or how he came to know it, his involvement has made him a key figure in the investigation. And for a man who has spent his entire career building a reputation as a trusted and respected public figure, the implications are enormous.
She walked away, got no money.
Got nothing.
Over.
And Jay-Z celebrated that, the fact that...
We should say, and it was filed by the lawyer who has filed a slew of lawsuits against Diddy.
As the legal proceedings against Diddy move forward, the potential consequences for Steve Harvey and his family remain uncertain. On the one hand, Steve's cooperation with the authorities could be seen as an act of integrity, a way of standing up for what's right, even in the face of personal risk. On the other hand, it could also expose him and his family to further scrutiny, as well as potential backlash from those who view his actions as a betrayal. Either way, The stakes couldn't be higher. For Lori Harvey, the ordeal has been a harsh reminder of how quickly the past can resurface, no matter how carefully one tries to move forward. And for Marjorie, it's a stark illustration of how the choices we make, both past and present, can come back to haunt us in unexpected ways. As for Steve, he now finds himself at a crossroads, caught between the desire to protect his family and the need to do what he believes is right. The story is far from over, and the questions keep piling up. Will Steve Harvey's cooperation with the authorities ultimately help bring Diddy to justice, or will it only serve to complicate things further? How will Lori and Marjorie navigate the fallout from the scandal, and what impact will it have on their relationships with Steve? And perhaps, most intriguingly, what other secrets might still be lurking in the shadows, waiting to come to light? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that keep us all talking.